Hey everyone, this is Harg, and I'm here to help. Today we are finally getting back to talking about Heroes of Might and Magic, Era of Chaos, the what it takes to make sure that your heroes get as strong as possible. Um, this has been a tough, tough week to be keeping up with games. Thanks Blizzard for releasing everything within a few days of each other. So I just feel like I'm massively behind on all the things that I've said that I would release for people. Um, so my apologies. So we're going to talk about heroes. So if you watch the first video on units, right? So we talked about making them strong, and that's super important. Heroes are like a whole nother level. Um, so let's start by going down here to our hero list, and this is the baby account again, so it's got a lot of things that are kind of in motion. There's not a lot of super high level anything, and I think it's a great way to kind of see, if you're just starting with the game, which is, if you're a beginner, that's what you're the right audience for this video. What you want to be able to see is the hero develop, from the roots. So here's Catherine. You get her from the first week. It's she's pretty helpful. She's pretty versatile. She's pretty, even things like later on in the game you won't use her for much of anything, but then you'll have the daily secret code of the day, and you need her spell rotation to be able to pull it off. Things like that. But she's a good powerful thing, good powerful hero. So we'll open her up. Basics, you level up the skills, right? You want the hero spells to be as high as, you want them to be maxed out for your level, if at all possible, right? You can level them one at a time. If you get a crit hit, you'll get an extra couple for free. Cool. Or you might get several for free. I really don't completely understand how their crits work, but they're, big number good, right? So I'm just a humble barbarian. So spells, that's pretty straight ahead. Higher the spell, better the damage, better the healing, better the protection. Whatever you're using it for. Mastery. So this is a little bit tricky. If you are a VIP player, if you're going to pay a little bit of money, if you're gonna invest in having the skills, you've got a much easier time with this than a free to play player does. Because free to play, you're trying to get, so basically you're trying to get the little thumbs up here, right? The recommended masteries, and it'll explain them to you. It'll say, here's what you should have and why. Um, and really, it's pretty straight ahead. She does a lot of water damage spells. You should buff that. Cool. Um, you can lock them, but you have to be VIP. That's just how it is. So I can hit refresh. I can get these options over here to replace these over here. And if I'm free to play, it's all or nothing. If you're VIP, you could have locked that and kept it. So I'm cancel that. So it's a little bit problematic for free to plays, and that's, there's nothing you can do about that. Um, the specialty. So this is just really an explanation of what her different levels of skill do as she moves up from, one, two, three, 4 stars. Um, and you move up the stars by, going to the promotion tab. And so here she is. I have 42 tokens, and when I get to 100, I can raise her up. There's also this concept of universal tokens. You find universal tokens on the at the taverns in your guild. Daily map explorations. Look for taverns, find them. You get a universal token out of that. You also get them as prizes in a lot of different places, including but not limited to your daily, battles. Your Battle of Gods. No, it's Doc. It's Duel of Champions is the daily. Battle of Gods is the biweekly. Okay. Um, so you can use universal tokens, which I have 21 universal tokens, which would get me. I need 57, but don't use universal tokens for an achievable hero like Catherine. Like you can find her tokens in other places, and we'll cover that here in a minute. Now, um, one other thing I want to talk about while we're on this page, the specialty skill that you get at at level 3. So Catherine's is at level 2. For most, it's at level 3, but it's you get a skill that's active even when the hero's not on the battlefield. So what that means is, like, if you have the necromancy heroes, right? If you have one, so you've got Sandro, cool, great, but then you also have some of the other heroes from that same class. They have really, really, really beneficial third tier spells or third tier specialties that benefit you even when they're not on the field, if that makes sense, right? So you can work out a whole web, and there's probably a whole nother video to do just on that, of which ones are beneficial. And we're gonna look at some of the tokens, and I'll touch on this a little bit after when we get to that too. So that's your basic hero list, and so that's I've got that listed on the screen with the hero spells, hero mastery, hero level, and that's all pretty straight ahead. So let's talk for a second about artifacts. Now, artifacts are kind of funny. I wasn't exactly sure where to talk about artifacts, and they could be their own separate video. It could be something about, it's they're beneficial. They help you with your units, but they help you with your heroes. They're kind of their own separate thing. But basically, what it is you have standard RPG rules. You've got green, you got blue that are better, you've got purple that are better than that, and you've got orange that are better. That are the best. And even the orange is separated into two different categories. So as you do all your dailies, um, you will gather materials. You can also purchase materials. There's all the different ways. You can go to the marketplace, file different things, and you can level up your things. So this guy, I can take him from level 3 to level 4. Cool, he's awesome. Um, and that's that. I guess that more fits in with the units, because units are individual. But now that this is level 4, so now they're all at least a level 4, I can upgrade the actual basic artifact itself. Super cool. Now, but the artifacts are very you will eventually have choices to make of which artifacts to use, and you will choose them according to how they interact with your hero's spells, more so, I think, than you will decide based on how they affect the units. But up to you. So let's look at the astrologer then. So the astrologer is, there's the hotspots. So the astrologer is where you can divine and pull up uh, useful things for within your artifacts. Um, and there's other places as well, including but not limited to the marketplace, which we talked about in the units video. But again, there's an entire artifacts tab here, and like I said in that video, when you're here, try to resist buying anything, because these can all be found in other places. You get them as prizes for login stores. You get them as randomly on the map for your daily quests and stuff. It resist spending them so that you can get, save them up for your red dragon flame tongue. That's where you really want to be. But so let's talk about heroes. So here is the champion tab. The these are the points that you save up when you're doing your daily your battles of DOC, Duel of Champions. Okay, and so here's Luna, here's Gelu, here's Rashka, and so Gelu, super important. I think I've said that before, that he's the guy that you want to have for any kind of PvE stuff. Early game, middle game, late game, when you're sieging it, the castles to get to level 91. Gelu, he's everywhere. He's super important. Um, Also, though, in your guild, you've got your guild points that you get every day, and here's Catherine again. So remember, I said don't ever use the solo tokens, or the universal tokens, because Catherine, you can just buy her here. You can get 5 tokens, and then and as well as getting Mephala, Shiva, and these guys are all great because you spend the points, you get these things, you get them up to a high enough level, and you get them to 3 stars. And like I said, their extra skills help each other, and that's actually one of the things that's really important with this store is in the sign-in store. There's Adelaide and Jedi, and these two have fantastic skills that you want to have available to your other characters, especially if so. Jedi adds a 15% boost to damage from Earth spells, which if you're any of the Earth spell using, so like I'm Sandro for my main, and that's super handy to have. 15%. I mean, if so, when it's 1-to-1 you versus the other guy, if you have that in your roster, then you're golden. Um, and then let's talk a little bit about the Magic Guild. Um, the Magic Guild itself. This is as you go through. Mostly these points can come from a different place, a couple of different places, but primarily you're getting these from the underground missions that you're doing every day, right? You're getting those to get the tomes so that you can level up your characters, and while you're doing that, as you unlock new ones, there's little blue crystals that you grab between the levels. Those get saved up, and then this is how you power up your spells. And then eventually you'll have decisions to make. So like I have heroes that use a lot of earth spells. I've got these maxed out, and then I'm maxing out some of these other skills and paying less attention to water and air. And you can reset them, to kind of change your specs around. So that's something to play with. But early in the game, you're just spending them as they come because they unlock by levels, right? Like this, I'm not gonna get this till 47. I'm not gonna get this till 57. So when you get to closer to 90, you'll be worried about that. Spell bookshelf. Now this is so when you get to 70, you start gathering these tokens and materials and stuff for the spell bookshelf, and then the spell prayers. And that's for once you've got your hero mastered, like once you've got it completely maxed out, there's kind of another level beyond that where you can inscribe a specific spell to that hero for kind of a special attack bonus. That's probably an entire video in and of itself as well. There's probably stuff out there even as well. Um, but it's another way to make your guys stronger. Um, so those hero tokens, where else can you get them? So at the sign in, we talked about the sign in store, but the sign in itself, every time, every month that you're doing it, there's these hero tokens that happen, so that by the end of the month you will have acquired enough to have. I think you end up with a 2 star of that hero. It's yeah, because there's enough tokens to get them to the 2nd star, I think, and you usually you're not relying on this to get the hero because he comes from a different like that's it's one of the they tie them in, so there's a weekly event at the end of that week you get a hero, and then you get enough during the login over the course of the month to level that hero. So it's nice, it's free. I mean, free, it takes logging in every day, but uh, that's just something to keep in mind. The right now you can see the screen is crazy. That's the anniversary event. There's red, there's red lucky cards everywhere, and so if you play any of the games that you play that are coded in China, you'll see red lucky cards. Uh, yeah, all sorts of things going on. But anyway, so hopefully that video helped a little bit. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, I guess, because I do try to check those. But Also, if you're playing Diablo 3, if you're playing the new release of World of Warcraft, if you're if you're playing any other mobile games, if there's anything that you have a question for that you're like, wow, I would really like to have a video of that, and you don't feel like going and investigating it all on your own, hit me up. Let me know. All right, this has been Harg. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.